Hello, everyone, and welcome to our AsiaTech pre-event webinar from LoRa Alliance. My name is Jan-Philipp Exner, and I will be the moderator for today for our pre-event webinar, which is somehow an content introduction to the show and to what our members are going to present at the stage and at the booth. On the next slide, you can see some really short housekeeping notes that you can catch up your questions for the end of our Q&A sessions. And of course, we will record the session for making it available or on demand. And in case if anything is freezing, just recheck your internet connection and find more details about our speakers into the resources. On the next slide, you can see that we as LoRa Alliance, we were founded more than 10 years ago, and we basically want to develop and maintain the LoRaWAN standard. And we always use such shows like the AsiaTech also to see what kind of real-world applications we can get with the technology of LoRaWAN and with the chances that we had here to show for widespread adoption. So, of course, take a look to, in case if you are not a LoRa Alliance member so far, join the Alliance and also join our show at the booth and see what the members are going to present. What we are going to present is on the next slide, some more details about our show before we come to our speakers. So we will be at the Pavilion 3C31. And as usually, our common booth will showcase many of our members there to show their devices, their solutions. And this year we are very proud to have LoRaWAN as our gold sponsor and also our silver sponsors Multitech, Semtech, Tectelic, and also bronze sponsors Trigino, Curling, Minu, Rock Wireless, Seed Studio, and Synzone. What is always a really impressive thing to visit is our showcase, our device showcase, which you can see on the right side, where you see the vast majority of various LoRaWAN devices and their dedicated use cases. On the next slide, you see that we have also various topics to present there. So we have an opening keynote by our CEO, Alpa, starting right up in the morning, and we have various keynotes focusing on AI as well as the potentials for utility in saving losses. We have a dedicated smart city panel to see, also with real applications, and another keynote and panel closing up the sessions when we are also focusing on solutions as well as smart building solution and reference stories. So a wide topic from the whole smart city and smart building issues. And on the next slide, also we want to highlight that we have on Thursday as well an Ask Me Anything session by Alba starting up at 2 in the afternoon. And of course, as always, if we have big shows like this, a huge LoRaWAN reception. Also, by this time, we're very proud that LoRaWAN as a sponsor is providing the field for those reception there in the evening. And I can also say from my personal attention that it's always a huge possibility to come into talks with other people from the Alliance and members which are going to be Alliance members in the future. So what we are having today now is we have four speakers today. I'm just as moderator somehow guiding the session. We have Olivier Bourgeat from Semtech, who is talking about the ecosystem possibilities of LoRaWAN in a whole and the growth and interoperability. We have Robert Fogliani from Tectelic talking about infrastructural aspects and especially in very interesting use cases from airports and the potential to use LoRaWAN in this way. We have Mohammed from ProOne, who is giving us some more details about AI-enabled visitor tracking together with LoRaWAN, and Matt McDowell from Multitech focusing on the topic of facility management solution in the building sector. So a very wide field of possible applications, which show also the possibilities that we'll have with LoRaWAN for the various kind of business cases. But I don't want to spend too much time in explaining what it's all about, and I will hand over now to Olivier from Zemtech and about his use case he's going to present. The stage is yours, Olivier.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. Hi, everyone. I hope you can all hear me okay. So I'm Olivier Bojard from Semtech, was one of the founding members of LoRa Alliance, and I'm also sharing the board of the LoRa Alliance, where we have a couple of various activities. So I will explain in this short presentation what LoRaWAN is doing and where LoRaWAN is winning in the wide IoT space, because as probably most of you know, IoT is very fragmented. You have tons of applications, hundreds of different verticals. And here, with the LoRa Alliance, we have sorted out the main sector where LoRaWAN is in use. So I'm not going to read all of them, but definitely LoRaWAN is very much in use in what we call smart building, smart city, agriculture, also energy and utility usage, smart industry and logistics. And I guess we'll get the slide after the webinar. I encourage you to visit the two links that we put here. You have definitely several hundreds of use case explained, both on LoRa Alliance website, so the bottom link, and also on Semtech website, the upper link. You'll see all different case, different customer using LoRaWAN already in the field for many years. So that's the overview. If you can go to next page, please. So I'd like to explain and deep dive where LoRa and LoRaWAN is winning, because we are not in use everywhere. There are some use cases where it does not make any sense to use a technology like LoRaWAN. But majority, I try to summarize here, of the volume are made in those different verticals that you can see here. And just to give you an order of magnitude, since LoRa chipset exists, we have shipped cumulatively more than 500 million, so 500 million units. So it's been close to 15 years already that LoRa exists. LoRa Alliance existed 11 years, but 500 million have been shipped and are in use in all of those verticals. And usually people use our technology for a reason, which I try to highlight in green on those slides. So reason number one usually is low power capability. So what is written as battery life? It's very often the reason, yes, it's very, very low power consumption that you can make as a performance of LoRaWAN. That's the number one reason. Number two will be also the very good performance of the radio. That means that you can have the technology, the radio is penetrating the material, so you can have under concrete, under the wall, or behind the wall sensor that can be reachable. That's another reason. Also the costs, as we are using ISM band, there is no spectrum. Spectrum is made available to everyone. We respect the rule of usage globally, of course, for the radio spectrum, but that means that the total cost of ownership of a solution is very, very affordable compared to other wireless technologies to deploy. So TCO is another reason. And in some case, also the ease of deployment is a reason that people say, yeah, we are using LoRaWAN for this reason, ease of deployment, but because it's pretty straightforward. You will see with my former next presenter how they managed to make that very simple to use. So that's the main reason. We'll stop on this slide. So you see a variety of use case in IoT. Not all of them are reachable. We focus on the one we are good at. And we are winning for those main reasons that I explained. low power consumption, low TCO, radio performance and penetration, and ease of use. If you can go to next page, please. I will here just highlight what is happening next week. Of course, we will be part of the LoRa Alliance pavilion. I guess this is in all three for those visiting Asia TechX next week. All three, 3C3-1 is a booth number. And what we will see here from Semtech, so our technology, LoRa, in use with LoRaWAN, definitely with the latest LoRaWAN stack, that is the production of LoRa Alliance, the LoRaWAN stack. So you will see it, the latest version, in use with some sensor. Also, we have developed a very simple, what we call single channel hub with LoRaWAN for smart home application. So it's a single channel for small sensor in use in homes. And also, we are pushing LoRa to the limit of the radio performance, where you will be able to see higher data rate with real-time transmission of animated picture. It's a very interesting demo. So we send animated picture over LoRa. We are also doing voice transmission on music broadcasting over LoRa, both in sub-gig and 2.4 gigahertz. And also we have a ranging demo, which is a good way to do to find stuff at very close locations or at short distance. It's called time of flight ranging. This is also another demo that you will be able to see. So without further say, I will say, come and visit us. Visit definitely LoRa Alliance Pavilion. You'll see multiple members there. And definitely also come to see Semtech and what we did as the latest innovation with our LoRa technology and LoRaWAN in use on top of it. I think that my next slide, I will introduce the next speaker, was also a LoRa Alliance member, very active. If you can go to next page. So I'm pleased to introduce Robert Fogliani, who was leading the sales globally within Tech-Tele Communication. And he will explain how they use LoRaWAN in different use cases in detail. So the floor is yours, Robert, and thank you for your attention, everyone.
Thank you, Olivier. So my name is Robert from Tech-Tele Communication. And today I want to discuss about three applications around the airport and the critical infrastructure. So there is these three applications have three things in common. They are large, they operate 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, and they cannot afford any failure. Yeah. So even if you have a small problem, this can be really become a safety issue and with a significant financial cost. So the first, that's the slide for the Changi Airport in Singapore. And in airport, it's critical to understand that we need to monitor the emergency speakerphone. We need to understand if the speakerphone are really working. So before, technicians had to work around every month and check each speaker by hand. This process was really slow, costly, and time-consuming. Now, with LoRaWAN, we install a small sensor near each speaker and check them all the time. If one speaker has a problem, the system automatically sends an alert, so there is no need for manual testing here. So to capture the data from the sensor, the Tech-Tele Kona Micro Gateway provides a stable, always-on coverage across all the terminals. So this means that we have a better safety, less manual work, and a solution that can be reused for many other monitoring needs into the airport. So that's a solution that is deployed in Terminal 3 at Changi Airport. So next slide, please. Thank you. So the second one, it's still for the airport in a big city in in Europe. In that example, the project was delivered together with entity data. It focused on the energy and utility monitoring at the larger European airports. The problem was to have a reliable communication in very harsh radio environments. So due to multiple wireless technology, there is plenty of interferences in airports. So the traditional wireless solution like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth often fail in this condition. I mean, it doesn't really work. So at the same time, the airport need to monitor energy and water consumption across multiple tenant and multiple zone, and to be prepared for future use case like air quality and space utilization. So the key to success was really the Kona macro gateways that is equipped with a cavity filter inside. So this product was designed specially for high interference environments. So Tectelic and NT Data deliver a fully integrated solution, hardware, network infrastructure, and data collection, all in one package. So the result is a stable connectivity in a complex RF environment, a scalable platform ready for future application, and full utility management across the entire airport. So this shows that LoRaWAN can solve today's problem and support future need for other application. Next slide, please. So the last one, it's kind of building management system. It's a water leak detection. And this is our last example. And we will go beyond the airport and we show on the smart building application. So Tectelic, we have built a solution for a large insurance company in the US. It's about the water leak detection. So if you take the water leak detection, there is more than $11 billion in damage every year worldwide. And the most leaks are not detected for more than 72 hours. So in this project that we have done with a major company, assurance company in the United States, the goal was continuous monitoring across the building, so without requiring heavy infrastructure. So the solution that we did provide include a Kona Micro, a LoRaWAN gateway for fast and really simple deployment. These gateway include a battery backup. That means that even if you have a power cut, the gateway still continue to collect the data and send the data to the LNS. So we can provide here a full IoT platform and with a real-time leak detection. So the sensor monitor multiple risk factor. Of course, we detect the water leaks, but we detect as well the temperature and the humidity and any mechanical issue as well. I mean, that was a really extremely good sensor. So the results are very strong. I mean, it's 85% faster detection, 3 to 5 times lower operation cost, and up to 20% reduction in assurance premium. Because if you subscribe to the leak detection platform, the insurance company provide a 20% reduction into your assurance. So that's to motivate the customer to install this application at home. So beyond this number, the real value is the risk reduction and the tenant satisfaction and the operational control. So this is exactly where IoT creates immediate measurable return on investment, and this is thanks to LoRaWAN. And I think that's all for my three examples. And thank you for listening. And I would like to introduce Mohamed. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Mohamed Al-Hinaw from LoRaWAN Communications. We will be the gold sponsor at Asia Tech Singapore next week. So over the next few minutes, I want to share a real deployment story at a large semiconductor fab manufacturers here in Taiwan. So they have a problem, and we wanted to, with the help of LoRaWAN, and using our AI positioning solution, we made it possible to solve this problem. I call this session from access control to emergency readiness. So it is simple but powerful idea to know where your visitors are at semiconductor fab to provide real-time responses in case of emergencies. Next slide, please. Okay. So semiconductors fabs are highly security, and they are highly regulated environments. They have visitors. They have the visitors. They could be auditors. They could be contractors. Could be customers, and they all have the legitimate reasons to be at the fab. This fab is quite large. They have about 10 buildings, and each building is 12 floors. But the moment every visitors step into the building, they just sign him in. They know what time he comes in, but after he passes the receptionist, they have no idea where the visitor is at. So let's assume a visitor comes in at 9 a.m. By 10:30, 11, they don't know where is he at the building. That creates two problems for the semiconductor fabs. First, they have the semiconductor fabs is they have many restricted zones. Even when you bring your phones in, some fabs, they will not, in some buildings, they will not allow you to bring your phone with you. And even in some buildings, they will try to limit the use of cellular in your phones, or even sometimes have tape on your camera, so you don't take photos for anything. So for restricted zones, if someone goes to restricted zones of these visitors, they don't know that they stepped into restricted zones. And if there's a case of emergency, they don't have a way to quickly pinpoint where these visitors are within the building. So that's two problems created for them. So what this customer or this semiconductor fab used to do before is they run 3 patrols at every 24 hours. So every 8 hours, they will have 3 people go across each building, 12 floors, to look for visitors and make sure where are they at the building inside them. So that's create a big gap of 8 hours between the times someone comes in and the next time actually they go check where the visitor is. Next slide, please. So what did we build for them? First, we asked the lab to provide us with their floor map. We did a site survey and scanning for the site. So what we did the Wi-Fi scanning to collect Wi-Fi SSID and BSSID. We created a heat map. Then we start with 4 simple steps. Step 1, every visitor comes to receive a LoRaWAN smart badge at check-in. There is no app, no phone, no training. It looks like a normal badge, and it is connected with Wi-Fi and LoRaWAN. Step 2, the visitor moves through the facility. The badge will continuously keep scanning for Wi-Fi signals data from the environment, because every physical space has a unique Wi-Fi wireless signature. So the badge keeps scanning it continuously, and we call this signal fingerprinting. So we create sort of fingerprinting within the buildings. Step 3, the data is transmitted back to the server, to the LoRaWAN. And here comes the beauty of LoRaWAN, because it's a long range. So with large buildings, we will just need a few of these LoRaWAN gateways to cover the whole large buildings. And it's low power, and the battery consumption is very low. So one badge, if it's keep scanning every 15 minutes, it can run for, if 15 seconds, it can run for about 5 to 6 days, and then you can recharge it pretty quick. Now, step 4, it's the data after it's sent by LoRaWAN to the LoRaWAN network server, it's pushed to our positioning engine, where we translate these signals into zone level presence. So the dashboards show the administrator which zone every visitor is at in real time. And if someone entered a restricted zones, a geofence alert will fires. Next slide. Okay. No, can you go back to the next previous one? Okay. I think there's one slide is yeah, here. So let me close this with numbers. So before, 3 manual patrols rounds every day. Security personnel physically walking 12 floors to check on visitors' location. After we deployed our solution, it is 0. Routine patrols. So the system will automatically, continuously, only alert when something actually needs attention. So it is no works needs to be done. So, and second, our response time. So before, as I said, we had patrols go every 8 hours. Now the device will keep scanning for Wi-Fi signals every 15 seconds and report the location every 15 seconds. So we know where the people or the visitors are within 15 seconds. And on a scale, we are live across 1 buildings and 12 ports today, and we are going to scale up to the remaining 9 buildings within the next few months. And all I will leave you for this is, and I will leave it for a long time, IoT tracking try to answer where the person is. So today the question is, what action should we take that shift from location data to actionable intelligence? And this is what I wanted to show in this presentation, what exactly AI and LoRaWAN together can make it possible. We just want to conclude with one thing, so that we will be showing this live at AsiaTech Singapore. So you can find us at our booth, and we would love to walk you through it in person. Yeah, that's all from my side. And we'll go to the next slides. I would like to introduce my colleague, Matt Mackwell from Multitech.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you so much for that. What's so exciting, I think, about today's topic, and I'm rounding it off at the end of the this slide presentation deck here, is we're seeing a consistent theme that data is being converted into decisions, albeit through AI moving forward as the physical layer with being able to sense its environment, or with insurance risk mitigation and management. From Olivier's our first slide that he presented, the environments and industries in which LoRa is delivering real world value upfront and ongoing with such a runway for scalable growth. It's very exciting for me. So at that, I'm going to talk a little bit about smart buildings and about how smart buildings are just no longer collecting data for data's sake, but they're converting that into reactive management, to actionable, automated, and operational controls and insights. Go to the next slide. So in the US, there's a very large pharmacy/retail store that own the majority of their physical locations, but also rent other ones. With that, they lacked unified visibility because their inability to retrofit rental properties to make them align with the ones in which they own. They lacked a central way to be able to monitor, measure, and control cooler temperatures, door open duration, humidity within the stores across different diverse environments across the United States, condensation risk, which can cause a lot of ruckus with the motors that are in the coolers, walk-in coolers, or the front end coolers. And these issues are often discovered late, after spoilage has already happened, food's being thrown away, frost buildup, which causes the motor to burn out faster, increased compressor load, and customer complaints ultimately. It's a bad experience in which they couldn't control in a unified way. So by deploying integrated sensors directly within their BMS system at each site, we not only leveraged, and they not only leveraged their existing administrative portal for their BACnet or building automation system, the BMS system, but now they can add in additional sensors in a scalable way. So we can start with 1 or 2 with temperature and humidity, and then door open, door close sensors. When you bring all that data into one unified platform, like Moab was explaining there with the AI being that physical layer, you start to really break down the silos and you can tell more total stories. Why does this building have higher humidity? Environmental stories, the weather outside, the front door is being blocked open because the cashier likes the breeze. There's a lot of different reasons when you put all that data into one place, and you can really start to see a fully connected smart building system across diverse locations. So studies also found that a 10% reduction in those energy costs, so refrigeration energy costs, can be equivalent to a 16% increase in net profit margins. There's a lot of math there to math out, but it's pretty clear. The more you optimize the length of your equipment, the customer experience, and reduce your energy costs overall, you're going to make more money. And I think there's additional subsequent benefits to deploying these smart building systems. So go on to the next one. And a lot of it is about limited visibility. It's about what is currently existing and post-COVID. I feel like a lot of bad stories start with that post-COVID. Buildings have contracted in size, they've expanded in size, a lot of different buildings. So retrofitting existing buildings with fully wired infrastructure could be a non-starter for some of these organizations where they can deploy the LoRaWAN sensors in these maybe hard to reach areas in a new build area. They can move them to expand and contract with their business needs. By integrating it into a BACnet controller, this was a larger retail customer, they're able to integrate it natively with Niagara Framework into their BACnet controller. That seamless integration, working within their existing building management system. So I think as all of us, any technology level that we are, data for data's sake isn't helpful unless it's usable. And it's not usable unless somebody can manage it. If it's in 30 different systems, that becomes a non-manageable, non-scalable piece of data collection. So when you combine scalable sensing with integration into existing building controls, the results become very tangible. 15 to 20%, 25% HVAC reduction, faster maintenance response, lower overall install costs, which goes back to Olivier's point of that total cost of ownership, and a lot faster deployments without having to rip and replace, cause downtime in retail organizations after our deployments where system integrators are paying overtime to have their people go out there to deploy them in retail locations. These are able to be deployed without shutting the business down, to get them in there and to start seeing the benefits right away. Go to the next slide. And this extends further than just retail. So this isn't just a retail story. It can be across any distributed enterprise when your customers or our customers in the world are looking at a way to unify their management and measurement of their different facilities and properties. More recent use case, we had a large multi-tenant unit in Chicago here in the United States. And this was somewhat unique. It was driven by the association board that they wanted to first deploy or understand water risk mitigation, which really echoes what was presented a bit earlier about being able to find these water leaks before they become major problems. So 70% our hidden leaks account for 70% of liquid damage claims, and that's that insurance impact. And the average claim costs each tenant around $40,000 per incident. So being able to go in and find the multitude of places, because you're looking at concealed spaces, sprinkler systems can contribute to water leak damage, rooftop HVAC units, in-unit wet areas, bathrooms and sinks and utility sinks, mechanical rooms and riser infrastructure. All of these high risk areas are very challenging to monitor and measure. Like Brian had in there that they'd have to climb 20, 30 floors to check all these different wet areas where sensors can be continuously monitoring this. And in this solution deployment, it's kind of interesting just with an association. We went about it a little bit differently than we normally do and went through the building, the facility, and did a lot of risk mapping. Where are the wet areas, points of failure? Did a pilot deployment, then went back to them with actual KPI measurement. What are we saving? Not only what are we saving from a passive monitoring water standpoint, but now what additional sensors or LoRa technology can you deploy to add additional value? So it's no longer just a reactive monitoring tool to detect, albeit that adds a lot of value, monitoring tool to detect water leak damage and water leak prevention. But what else can we do with it to increase security within your facility, to add additional value and to continue to add components going into your one unified backnet system that you have one dashboard you can just continually expand. So I think that really resonates with a lot of our customers. And it's not just the retail, it's not just in multi-unit, multi-tenant units like this, distributed facilities, smart buildings, and smart cities alike. When you start to unify that data into one central dashboard, or you can bring that data together, you can really start to tell a more complete story. And where agentic AIs are coming out, those software tools in everything from logistics to hospitality, hotel, retail, to multi-tenant living. LoRa's delivering that value today. We look forward to you stopping by the booth at AsiaTech, stop by and say hi, and to learn more about how our current customers are deploying LoRa, integrating it into their backnet systems, developing these smart building systems. But beyond that, what additional value are they extracting from these deployments beyond the initial cost savings, the reduction in risk mitigation, the regulatory compliance requirements? How are they turning these passive monitoring systems into active EBITDA machines, really, by the end of the day? That is the end of my slides. We go to the next piece here. If there are any questions, and Jan, I will pass it back over to you, but drop your questions in the chat. Jan will wrap us up here.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you also to the other speakers to give those impressive insights of what is possible with LoRaWAN and what are the actual success stories at the locations which really matters. We also do have some questions regarding our talks, so I probably would start just right away with Matt because there was just a question coming in. How do multi-tenant environments change the value proposition?
Right now, if they've got I think that there's beyond just that passive monitoring of your facility, of water leak detection, air temperature control monitoring. There's HVAC benefit from temperature control within shared spaces in those multi-tenant units. There's security risk mitigation pieces there, where they're hiring. You're reducing rolling trucks to service things. You're reducing climbing floors to check under cabinets in people's things. So the benefits, the multi-unit residential benefits, I think become a longer story. I feel like a little bit of a challenge to tell. But that risk mitigation piece and the value that they can gain from deploying different types of LoRa-based sensors, you start to mix that in with that agentic AI in one system. It just really makes it so that LoRaWAN makes sense. That's the LoRaWAN makes AI sense, excuse me. So that physical layer can drive in that additional value. And there's a few different pieces that I'd be happy to bring to AsiaTech with me too, so I could have actual specifics. It's kind of a non-answer answer.
But great, thanks for summing this up. There were also some questions already answered in the chat, also regarding if this slideshow will be recorded. So, but I will now go to another two open questions, which I will wrap up together because they both were addressed to the airport presentation of Robert. So, one point is what kind of interference sources were problematic inside of an airport? And probably the same one was also asking about what kind of operational savings and efficiency for this airport are realistic with smart utility monitoring. So, Robert, airport related questions to your side.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
In the airport, there is a lot of machinery and different wireless technology as well. And there is a metal structure, there is wall. I mean, this is that makes the transmission really difficult. And that's the reason why, I mean, the LoRaWAN is really designed for difficult environment. You have a long range, you go through the obstacle, wall and metal structure. But that's the LoRaWAN technology. On top of this, at Tectelic, we have a special IP. On the Kona Macro, on the Kona Mega as well, we integrate a cavity filter inside. I mean, the cavity filter you can put outside, but it's not that efficient as well. So if you put a cavity filter inside, you can remove all the interference that is due to all the machinery, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all this kind of different wireless technology. So you really cut all the interferences in band and out band. So that's that thanks to the cavity filter. But on top of it, why we have a really good coverage with the Kona Macro, and the Kona Enterprise as well is the same thing, that we have a special IP inside our design. Between the baseband and the transceiver, we have an FPGA. It's kind of the FPGA, kind of DSP, and we do some signal processing. And doing so, I mean, we can increase the coverage, and we increase the signal-to-noise ratio and the linearity of the signal. So all these combined features make that we are really strong for the interferences. So that was, I think, your first question. The second one was about?
The second one was about what kind of operational savings or efficiencies for the airport are realistic with utility monitoring.
On that one, it's linked to the less manual works. I mean, you do some automation. So all the automation that you are doing with LoRaWAN, with the sensor, there is less manual work. And there is a faster problem detection as well. And everything make a lower operational cost. And that means that the return of investment, it's really done quickly with the LoRaWAN technology.
Okay. Thank you, Robert. I don't see
you.
any further questions. In case if there aren't any questions so far left. So I would again thank to all of those speakers today for sharing their time. Also a great thank to all of the visitors for our webinar here. It's a pleasure to have this webinar for you. We talked a lot about the LoRaWAN possibilities, LoRaWAN ecosystem, but whereas LoRaWAN is about to connect sensors, data, gateways, the Alliance is about to connect people. And this is, I think, a major reason why we also focus on such kind of shows like the Asia Tech, to have those booths to be together, because this is, beside all of the technological aspects, a very vibrant key point of the ecosystem and the Alliance itself. So join the show, join our booth. Thanks a lot. And I wish you a successful show and a great Tuesday evening, morning, wherever you are. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.